So I just want to put this out there. You know when somebody lying, when they stories just keep on changing up for the most integral parts. Now, when you tell a story, you often do forget details. Nobody can do a total recall, right? So if I tell you about a day I had, it might not go exactly the way I said, or it might not have went the way I said. Then you ask me about it again, I might say something else because I just remembered a detail or left out a detail. But this detail cannot be missed. I told y'all in a video about a month ago the feds were coming, and I'm like, 1,000% sure now that the feds are coming. I talked to his lawyer multiple times about this, and his lawyer is adamant that the deal he put together for Gunna does not hurt anybody else. He can't, even though he said YSL is a gang, I seen criminal activities. He said that part in the state Rico case cannot be used against the other people on the case as well as the trials progress. He said that if he ever does get called to the stand, he's going to plead the fifth because, and people say, oh, but that's only self-incrimination. He goes, not exactly, because there's always a chance of the state case becoming a federal RICO case. So therefore, anything he says could be potentially picked up by the feds. Devil trying to pull me like a hamstring, finessing the game with my pimp game. I'm ready to go like the bell rang. I put my faith in God like it ought to be. Now, the funny part about everything that I just read that Vlad said, because Vlad would strike his channel to the shadow realm if I use this clip, even just that small part where he says basically that anything Gunna says could be picked up by the feds if he cooperates against anybody in YSL. True and untrue. I'm going to tell you why it's true, because the feds are coming. Untrue that he said that he won't be saying anything. Because basically, you could have not said nothing in the first place and sat it down until the trial was over. What are you talking about, Nash? Well, Gunna's lawyer decided to go ahead and basically say, man, Gunna was going to beat this thing anyways. You don't believe me? Look at what he told Vlad TV on this one. Regarding Gunna's statement about getting arrested in the car with Young Thug, Gunna stated that the guns and drugs were not his. Gunna stated that those items are not his. Doesn't mean Young Thug is guilty. Thug will probably make the same statement about the items not being his as well. The deal I made for Gunna has built in every protection for everyone. It doesn't hurt anyone that's still involved in the case. If Gunna didn't take the plea deal, he would have waited 6 to 8 months in jail only for a jury to find him not guilty. So let's understand this. What type of lawyer would sit up there and risk his client going to jail for 5 years off of probation? You do know Gunna still has to adhere to drug testing and all that stuff and everything like that. Let me ask everybody that's watching this video right now. Would you go to jail for 6 to 8 months to make sure that, one, you were going to beat your case anyways, so you were going to beat your case and you were going to come home, no probation, no anything? And when you get out, everybody will be like, oh, man, Gunna ain't say nothing. He kept his stitch slip. He pled the fifth the whole entire time. Hey, he sounded, hey, plead the fifth. Hey, be my lawyer. That makes sense, or does this make sense? Hey, you do almost a year in jail any doggone ways. And then you get out on probation. You got fines to pay. You got community service. But also, you will be called to testify. You don't have to incriminate yourself, which is written. It says he does not have to produce any evidence to incriminate himself, but everything else he has to speak on truthfully, or they will revoke that probation, which means he already admitted that he did something. He already admitted that he did something. So we're going to take that and go ahead and use his words against him. By the way, that's what happened. So I don't know what type of stupid games they playing or how dumb they think we are, but your man is a snitch, period. Checkmate, punk.